Mute your microphone when you are not presenting. Thank you. Welcome to Tan Sri Datuk Sri Panglima Dr. Abdul Rahman Arshad Challenge Trophy English Language Debate Competition 2022. The motion for today is this house would require partners to pay their husbands and wives for household chores. Acting as the government team for this debate is the team from Pendang. Government? Alright, sorry for the delay. Acting as the government team for this debate is the team from Pendang with Mr. Oh Yong Kun as the first speaker, Ms. Nur Kamilia Kristina binti Jamal Abdul Nasir as the second speaker, Ms. Auni Batrisha binti Saidin as the third speaker, and the reply speech will be delivered by Ms. Nur Kamilia Kristina binti Jamal Abdul Nasir. While acting as the opposition team for this debate is the team from Langkawi with Ms. Sophia Caroline Rainbow as the first speaker, Mr. Lai Zhengyi as the second speaker, Ms. Soraya Catherine Rainbow as the third speaker, and the reply speech will be delivered by Mr. Lai Zhengyi. There are three adjudicators who will adjudicate this competition. There are Mr. Muhammad Safwan bin Muhammad Fuad as the Chief Judge. He will be assisted by Mr. Irfan Afif bin Muhammad Adib Shuja. And last but not the least, Mrs. Nur Ashikin binti Abdul Azim. Now, I would like to read out some of the rules of this debate. For the substantive speech, each debater is given 8 minutes to deliver his or her speech. The timekeeper will ring the bell once. After the first minute, to show that points of information POI can be delivered. The timekeeper will then ring the bell once again. At the end of the 7 minutes, to show that the time for POI is over. At the end of the 8 minutes, the bell will be rung twice to indicate that the time allocated is over. A maximum time of 3 minutes will be given to both teams to prepare for the reply speech. The timekeeper will ring the bell once to show the start of the preparation time, and the bell will be rung twice. After 3 minutes, to show that the time to prepare for the reply speech has ended. For reply speech, the timekeeper will ring the bell once at the 3rd minute to signal that the debater has 1 minute left. At the end of the 4th minute, the bell will be rung twice to signal the end of the debate. Now, we shall begin our debate today. To open the case from the government team, please welcome the first speaker of the government team, Mr. Uy Yong Chen. Please welcome.
Thank you to Madam Speaker. A very good morning to the Madam Speaker, the wise and just adjudicators, timekeepers, members of the House, my fellow teammates, and last but not least, the government opposition team. We are have today to argue on the motion. This House would require partners to pay their husband or wives for household chores. Member of the House, before I continue, allow me to define today's motions. According to the Oxford Dictionary English Dictionary, partners means people who takes part in an activity with another or others. Pay means something paid for regular work. Next, the word husband means man to whom a woman is married when considered in. Wife means married woman, especially when considered in relationship to her husband. Household chores mean all the people living in a house, living together in a house, doing small routine tasks. Yes.
How did you get the definition from Oxford Dictionary?
We get it from a dictionary. We just find it at the dictionary. Why we can't get it from the dictionary? Member of the House, from this definition, we, the government, believe that partners should pay something to their husband or wife for household chores. Today, our parameter is set for every aspect of payments like affection, quality times, love, money, and etc. Before I proceed to my first argument, I, as the first speaker of the government team, has presented the definition of the motion, and I will present our first argument to prove our case and later on deliver our reply speech. Meanwhile, my second speaker will rebut the arguments made by the first speaker of the opposition team and bring forward 2 more arguments to solidify our stand. Whereas my third speaker will rebut all the points given by the speaker on the opposition team. Honorable adjudicators, member of the floor, we, the government, believe that this House would require partners to pay their husband or wife for household chores. because it will create a positive environment in household. This brings me to our first argument. We, the government, believe that this house will require partners to pay their husband or wife for household chores because it will build understanding and respect towards each other. First and foremost, let me define you. What is the meaning of respect? It means politeness and consideration arising from admiration or regard. As we know nowadays, there are many housewives and also husbands. They only stay at home and help to do household chores. They need to take care of their children and do small tasks in daily lives like washing clothes, sweeping floor, mopping floor, washing plates, and so on. We as the partner of them, we can pay them with some love, quality time, and also money to make them happy and glad to do this. We cannot make them like feel unhappy to doing those chores and they are argue to us from something. We can like bring them to travel, buy some gift to them to give them a surprise, like buying some souvenirs from when I work at outside. We can also like sometimes buy some gift like a toy bags or whatever they like, or pay them some allowance too. This will also improve our relationship too. Thus, this will make the partners to feel a respectness and appropriate from their partner.
POI?
Yes.
Wouldn't that make the person that is actually doing the chores at home rely on that partner for paying, and would also be dependent on that partner always for paying their stuff?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
Wouldn't that require the person that is doing the chores to always rely on the person that is doing the work?
We are not talking at the partner is paying to the husband and also the wife. Not only the specific, like we only pay to the husband. The husband only do the household chores, or the wife only does the household chores. No one will really now let me continue my point. No one will be willing to deserve an paid allowance after doing a jobs or even a small jobs. That is why the government agreed to this motion that this house would require partners to pay their husband, wives, and for household chores. Nowadays in Malaysia, there are many cases like the wife or the husband argue that why they can't work outside. They only just must stay at home to work, to do the household chores, and why they can't work outside. They will have no income, or like they will feel lonely at home. So this is a very best time for the partners, like their husband or wife, to pay them like some give them some gift, pay them some love, give them some quality time to pay to accompany them. This also make them more happy, or like they will feel that they are respectful. The husband or wife feel that they are care of them and not make them lonely. With this, the government would again reaffirm our case that we agree to the motion. This house would require partners to pay their husband or wife for household chores because it will build understanding and respect towards each other. With that, thank you.
One, to start the case from the opposition team. Please welcome the first speaker of the opposition team, Ms. Sophia Caroline Rainbow.
You cannot have a relationship without trust. love transcends money. Think about it. Codependency is crucial in relationships, and we, the opposition, firmly believe that this motion, which is this House, would require partners to pay their husbands or wives for household chores is not right at all. This is because, like I said, you cannot have a relationship without trust. And this motion does not have any trust built in it at all. Now, Assalamualaikum and a good day to all, especially to the adjudicators, the timekeeper, my brilliant fellow speakers, the respected opposition team, and everyone in between. I, the first speaker, will be highlighting a fundamental point in my speech, which is the equality that does not apply in this motion. My second speaker will be talking about how to maintain a long and healthy relationship, which this motion doesn't provide, as well as how to prevent money from being an issue. My third speaker will be wrapping up our case nicely with a figurative bow on the top and further clarify why the government's arguments are completely and utterly inaccurate. But before all of that, I will be refuting the government's foolish arguments. Now, one thing that I really do not understand, there were so many definitions, but little to no arguments at all. Your argument is to build respect and that they would always stay at home. Now, to build respect, this is just not right at all, because this motion does not build respect. It does the exact opposite. I will explain it in one of my future points. Now, the stay at home, I will also explain it with my future points. So, my first point is the lack of equality. Yes?
What do you mean by trust when our motion today is about the House require partners to pay their husband and wives for household chores? I don't see the relevant of trust issue in this motion. Thank you.
Because in a relationship, you're going to need trust. And without trust, this motion would not be right at all. Now, my point is the lack of equality when it comes to men and women in relationships. This is what happens when people in relationships follow this motion. If the breadwinner of the relationship constantly pays their partner for simple household chores, like, let's say, dishwashing or making a simple cup of coffee, the partner will grow to be more dependent on the breadwinner and it won't be the same other way around. Now, the first minister's argument on building respect contradicts this, because if you constantly have a relationship where you are always depending on one person, that's not respect. That is almost labor. Now, relationships are supposed to be balanced, codependent, not dependent. This motion will not allow that to happen because of the power hierarchy. This motion shouldn't be a requirement. Think about it. Let's say this motion does take place and a husband has to pay his wife whenever she does chores, no matter how small it is. His wife would be paying for everything. No, thank you. The husband would grow lazy and constantly pay his wife to do simple chores for him. This is not a relationship, but a job. The government has failed to mention about this dynamic. Instead of being in a relationship, why not just hire a maid if this is the requirement for a relationship? One point I would like to set up for my third speaker is that their motion promotes gold digger behavior, which is when one person gets into a relationship just because of the money. Now, any POIs that the government would like to give?
POI, please.
Yes.
You said that why don't we just hire a maid? Then I would like to ask here, I would like to point out that our motion today is about require partners to pay their husband and wives for household chores. Then why are you talking about maid. Are the husband and wife going to make love with the maid? When you were talking about the husband and wife, is okay. I'm sorry. That's it. My question. Thank you.
Because in a relationship, it's like I said, it's all about trust. This motion promotes the paying. It's like a job, really. Why not just not get a relationship and just get a job instead? I hope that answers your question. Now, if you think about it, truly think about it, this motion does not make sense at all. Like I said, it promotes gold digger behavior. It truly does not build respect at all. And I would like to refute the first minister's point on staying at home. The first minister said that, no, the first speaker said that if the motion does not take place, then one of the partners would grow lazy and stay at home all the time. Now, this does not necessarily have to happen because we can go around this. No, because instead of having to pay, why not just have both the partners do the work codependently instead of paying? They're supposed to trust each other. That's what I said about my prologue before I even started all of this. Codependency is what's supposed to happen. Yes, what's your POI?
POI.
Yes.
I think you just misunderstood our case line. We just mentioned that we just mentioned that pay not just about money. We can pay just like our first speaker of the government mentioned earlier. You can pay by the respect, you can pay by the care, love, and so on. Not just about money. I think you misunderstood our case line. Thank you.
Which is why I was going to set the point up for my third speaker, which it promotes gold digger behavior. So, in conclusion, I think that the government's points are absolutely foolish and that we, the opposition, are absolutely right to say that this motion, which is this house, would require partners to pay their husbands or wives for household chores is absolutely wrong. Thank you.
To continue our debate today, I would like to invite the second speaker of the government team, Ms. Nur Kamilia Kristina binti Jamal Abdul Nasir. Please welcome.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable educators, timekeepers, the wise but misguided opposition team, my team members, and members of the House. Assalamualaikum and a very pleasant evening, everyone. Before I, as the second speaker, present two more points from our team, allow me to rebut on what has been said by the first speaker of the opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, the first speaker totally misunderstanding about our motion. I would like to point out that we just mentioned that it's you don't pay them just about money. Pay doesn't mean that they just will take about money. You can pay your partner by attention. You can pay them by care, loves, and tolerance or something. And I will explain more in my argument. My dear opposition, do you know that partners can also their husband or wives by showing tolerance? When both are doing household chores switchly, it's automatically harmonize the family. As I mentioned earlier, switchly, not just the husband are doing the house chores, not just the wives are doing the house chores. That's why I say switchly. For example, when a wife is doing a household chores and a husband is showing tolerance by helping the wives, it's obviously create a peaceful environment. And in the same time, for the family who have kids, their kids could learn from them by create a positive environment in the family. ladies and gentlemen, apart from that, if their partners is paying their husband or wives with money, then they can save the money for future usage. For example, monthly allowance and etc. I would like to point out that when we talk about pay, not just you cannot be narrow-minded like, oh, pay it's about money. No, you can pay your family with care, love, tolerance, respect. That's why, as my first speaker just mentioned earlier, it's about respect. When you are showing tolerance to each other by doing house chores, then it will automatically show tolerance and respect to each other. I hope that I could create I'm sorry. I hope that you can understand our argument here. Uh, so besides that, when the first speaker of the opposition said that why don't we just hire maid? What about a family who have not enough money? Well, I'm sorry, always just straightforward. We have the full family who cannot afford to hire the maid. Then they will pay the attention, not just about money, but to their not just pay money to their husband or wife. They could pay by care and love, because if they're from a poor family, it's obviously they cannot hire a maid and etc. So that's why I mentioned earlier, house chores is not about job, like first speaker of the opposition mentioned. Taking care of children is also a house chore. You take care of your children, not just you mentioned that stay at home. What? How can you say that we just stay at home? They could they can show tolerance with each other by literally doing house chores or something. Alicia, my dear opposition, do you know that if you are hoping, I'm sorry, I have a problem with my speaker. Sorry. Okay. You know that when when their partners is paying their husband and wives with money, that they can save the money for future usage. For example, monthly allowance, as I stated earlier, they can use the money given by pay by their partners to guarantee a better future for the kids. Even if they don't have kids, they still can plan for their partners, for both of their own. So I open a pure eye for the opposition teams inside. They are about to curious about something.
Should they truly actually work for their love? Shouldn't love actually go both ways instead of having to earn their love?
I'm sorry, your question a bit confusing. Could you please straightforward?
You mentioned that the other has to pay for everything and that they would have to work for their love. However, if they truly love each other, wouldn't they give them the thing anyways?
Okay, thank you for your PI. You you cannot make your assumption, or you cannot like ask me what you is that I'm sorry, are they really love each other? Like you mentioned, it's about trust or something. I don't think trust is related to our motion today, because because we are mentioning about partners pay I'm sorry, our motion is about would require this house really would require partners to pay their husband and wife for household chores. So I do not see the relevant of relevant of the trust issues in here. And if you build your relationship without trust, then how can you make a family with them? So honorable adjudicators, we will again reaffirm our case that the government believes that we will require partners to pay their husband and wives or for household chores. With that, thank you.
The debate will continue with the speech from the second speaker of the opposition team. Please welcome Mr. Lai Zengyin.
Hello and good morning. I will be the second speaker for the opposition. Before I reinforce and solidify the fact that partners shouldn't pay their husbands or wives for household chores, I will first explain why the points given by the government is wrong. Absolutely wrong and terrible. So let's talk about the definition. Instead of paying each other with feelings, how about creating the feelings? If feelings are currency, they will definitely feel burden. They will use love, tolerance as a currency. If they don't do the house chores, are you saying that there's no more love? You're indirectly agreeing with us because you're saying that without house chores, there is no love. Now, I will be going on rebutting the points. First of all, you said that if partners pay each other for house chores, they will create a positive environment.
A correction.
No, a positive environment is the last thing that will happen.
I'm sorry, but I would like to correct you.
No, thank you. If they pay each other for house chores, let's take examples. Let's take respect, for example. If they respect each other for the money, are they actually respecting each other, or are they respecting the money? They won't be respecting each other for being them, but they're actually respecting the money. It does not create a positive environment. Instead, it creates a negative and toxic environment. I'll get onto this. Yes.
Our perimeter is said that we are not only paying for money, we are paying love, paying any feeling, like we're paying tolerance or what. Not only money. You are misleading with our point.
Actually, I've just explained. You can pay through money, which is a problem, and you can pay through love, or you can pay through feelings, which will become a burden in the relationship. So paying both ways have negative. Now, the second thing, you said something about money, but you didn't say it clearly and your point wasn't strong enough. Actually, you have accidentally agreed with us. I will get onto it right now.
Correction. I did not mention that if there's no household.
Firstly, if partners don't pay each other for house chores, it prevents money from being an issue. Money is a very important thing in our lives. Money is important to buy necessary things such as food, clothes, and other things. Without money, money will become an issue. Now, how will paying husband or wives for how will not paying husbands or wives for household chores cause money to become an issue? Firstly, if they pay each other to do household chores, the overall wealth of the family will decrease. This is because they will have to spend money to pay each other. Instead, they could use this money to do other things that will actually strengthen the relationship. You previously mentioned that they can use the money to do other things. If they don't pay each other, they will actually be able to use that money to strengthen the relationship. So you actually have agreed to us just now. Yes.
I did not mention if there is no household, there is no love. You just, I think you don't hear very well about our emotion. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, but you said that you can use pay by love. So there must be love. Okay, I'll continue with my points. Also, if the relationship is revolved around money, money will be the main issue for almost all arguments. Money can't buy happiness, especially if couples or married couples argue because of an issue regarding money. To conclude this point, money shouldn't be an issue in a relationship. So husbands and wives shouldn't pay each other to do chores. To get on to my next point, if husbands and wives don't pay for household chores, it helps maintain a long and healthy relationship. What is a long and healthy relationship? A long and healthy relationship is built on trust, love, and respect. How does not paying for doing household chores build trust? So trust is built when both husband and wives don't question each other. If husbands and or wives have to pay for household chores, it will cause them to lose trust towards each other. For example, if just once, either the husband or wife forgot to pay for each other, it will cause trust issues. As a famous saying goes, trust is not enough. No, thank you. Once broken, it will never be the same again. A long and healthy relationship is also built on love. Love is such a powerful thing and cannot be described with words. The only way you
Your
can
eye, please.
experience, yes,
If you like if you're saying, you think that if we didn't pay to them, we will build trust among our partners? How will we make trust without this?
thanks for the POI. I will actually use that POI to strengthen my points further down. If partners pay each other, love will be gone. Think about it. If partners pay each other for doing household chores, this relationship will be a materialistic relationship. A healthy and long-lasting relationship should not, and I repeat, should not be built on money or wages or relying on feelings as payment. Husband and wives should be there for each other, and they should both rely on each other. Actually, by doing chores together, it can actually promote love and train trust. They can like wash dishes together, sweep the floors together, and maybe even clean the whole house together. Love is promoted by understanding each other, giving each other the love they deserve. Last thing, and you mentioned just now, is that love is built on respect. If the partners pay each other, doing chores will be like doing a job to pay back. And overdoing so can cause them to lose respect towards each other, as it feels like they have to pay each other to be respected. To conclude my point, a long and healthy relationship is built on trust, love, and respect. So my house would require partners to not pay their husbands or wives for doing house chores. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen and honorable educators, let's hear from the third speaker of the government team, Ms. Auni Batrisha binti Saidin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, good evening. I bid to wise panel of educators, timekeepers, member of the House, member of the opposition team, and member of the House. Ladies and gentlemen, my two teammates have come forward with three solid arguments to prove that our motion should be accepted. I shall now continue to prove that the opposition team is standing on the wrong side of the road. The opposition team state that they don't agree with the motion because in relationship, a relationship is built around trust. However, we believe this is not true because by paying their partners for household chores, it will build understanding and respect, tolerance, and also saving money for future usage. This is why the opposition case is flawed. The second speaker said that the motion is absolutely wrong and terrible. How can this motion be terrible when the partner is just rewarding their partners with things that they can give? Just love, just affection, just a quality time together can be paid. You don't have to give money. We state this in our definition earlier. You also argue that when they give money to each other, are they respecting each other or respecting the money? This also linked to the what you said. You can pay with love. That means there's no need. There's need to love each other. But don't you marry each other with the love to beginning with. You don't marry someone that you just met and just like, let's go marry. You married them and get love from them. That's why you marry them. Then by marrying someone you love, you will want to cherish them. You will want to give them a reward for what they are doing. This is what we are saying. And you said that by paying their partner will that will be a materialistic love. This is not true. Just like I stated earlier, their love is not from the marriage. They marry each other because of love. This is why what you're saying is wrong. Onto the onto the first speaker, you said that by paying their partners, it will make the another partners depending on one other. How can they be depending on one other person by just doing housework and get paid by it? They just get paid for what they are working, just like how their partner who is working outside. This is why there is a job like a maid. Housework is hard. It's not easy. You work for a full time, even if you are at house. Your partner just giving money or love or even affection as a reward, as a gift, as a affection for their partner. This is how they show affection, and this is how they show love. And also, doesn't you think that in marriage or in partners, they need to be dependent on each other? They don't need. If you don't have a dependent on each other, doesn't that mean you have a trust issue on each other? You also give an example that when a husband have to pay their wife for every work, they will become lazy and dependent on their parents, on their partners. This is not true because there is people out there who is working full time or busy. They will have to work and they won't be at home. They are just helping and giving their partners money or love or affection just for reward, as I keep saying earlier. You also say that this will lead into a materialistic, into a gold digger behavior. Just like I said, don't you marry someone when you know them, when you trust them, when you love them, when you know that they won't use you for something. You won't marry someone or a stranger. Yes.
Actually, not all people marry because of love. Some people marry for benefits.
Thank you for your question. But doesn't that mean they have to know each other in order to get married? Yes, there are some people that marry for benefits. But let's take it for example. If the wife is marrying the husband for benefit, that means the wife know the husband is rich. Doesn't that mean the wife and husband need to get a connection before getting married? How can the husband doesn't realize that their wife is actually trying to get money from them? Also, doesn't you think that the house husband or housewife is actually getting what they need, what they are working for? If you have a wife or you have a husband, won't you try to give them everything that you could give because you love them? That's how a relationship works, right? Wise educators, I also believe that these wise educators, member of the House, we, the government, believe that the opposition is misguided in their case and argument. They have not proven their point, and they have failed to convince us with their motion. From the rebuttal made by my colleague and I today, we believe that their case does not stand. They are only looking at the weakness and problem without solution. They are also stating only opinion and argument without concrete advice. They are also argue on a weak and virgin argument without solid evidence. With that, we, the government, again believe that this house would require partners to pay their house and wife for household chores because it will create a positive environment in a household. With that, I raise my case. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen and honorable adjudicators, this is the third speaker of the opposition team, Ms. Raya Catherine Ringvogt. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all those that are present here. Thank you, fellow ministers, for your points and your input. However, we, the opposition, still believe that this motion is completely wrong and why we should not accept it at all. Now, before I begin, I would like to not only rebut but prove why the government is actually wrong in the sense that they should actually pay their partners for doing chores. Now, I think they misunderstand the motion of this, because the motion is requiring partners to pay their husbands or wives for household chores. So the fact that they actually made a point that they should help each other doing the job actually contradicts themselves, as the motion states, or not and, or husbands or wives that are doing the chores, and actually helps benefit us and proves that we are correct in that sense. Next, they also contradict themselves into saying that we made a point about the other partner being lazy. No, we actually did not make that point. That was actually the Prime Minister's point earlier that said that if the other does not do the work, then they are being lazy in turn. Next, you also stated something about helping with their future and with their children. However, just as I said, this motion is not about being parents, but instead husbands or wives and partners. No children are involved. They are not parents, but instead husband and wives. Please understand that. I'd also like to mention that they would also like to interrupt when my fellow speakers were speaking. And yes, that's all I'd like to say about that. Please think about that. Next, I would like to rebut more of their points. They said something about how doing chores would actually help them love each other. But I believe this is also wrong and factually incorrect, as then the foundation of their love and trust would actually be built on money. If the foundation of their relationship is being built on money, then their relationship itself is actually as fragile as the money that is made from, which is paper. It's completely inaccurate to say that chores actually help them with this. Why you say? It's because if they rely on the other to just pay them every time they do a job, what if the husband, let's say, that actually gets all the money from work, what if he requests for a coffee? And then the wife would just ask for money. That is such a minute task, and you're asking them to pay money? Or even when you said something about like they don't have to pay with money and with love, shouldn't love be unconditional anyways? They should not have to work for their love or for any gifts. If they truly love each other, then they would give them anything no matter what. They don't have to work for this feeble thing that is either money or vacations or gifts or love. It should be unconditional either way. If they still insist on paying, then it's unrequited love, where the other only loves the partner, and the other person that is doing the chores doesn't, and they only love them for the money or the gifts that they are receiving. Next, I still remember when you mentioned that we are on the wrong side of the road. However, if we are, then I believe that the government is actually on the road and are about to get hit by a bus, because their points keep contradicting each other, and that they always say the same thing over and over again about how they could pay with love or gifts or anything like vacations, right? But it still contradicts itself. They say the same thing over and over again and actually help prove our points. As I've already mentioned, if you truly love them, and it should be unconditional love either way, you don't reward them for work, because this, as my first speaker has mentioned earlier, promotes gold digger behavior, where let's say the partner that's doing all the chores only care about the gifts or money or vacations or anything that they would receive. What is a gold digger, you ask? It's just someone who maybe likes people for their money or for material things. That's what a gold digger is. And you're basically promoting that. If you are saying that they would have to pay their partners or husbands or wives, that would mean that you would actually support this idea that they have to pay each other to actually be able to be loved. Because then that would promote a toxic environment where they would only trust each other because of the money they make. That is not a relationship or anything of love. That is a transaction through money, gifts, and anything else in between. Yes.
You say that we are saying that we said half, but we actually not saying half. We said that they can reward their partners. Thank you.
Isn't that what your motion is about? That they should reward their partners for doing chores? You're contradicting yourself. If you said they can, this motion is that they should and actually have to pay their partners for the work that they do. You are contradicting yourself yet again. Now, I would like to reinforce what my previous speakers have said. Now, as my first speaker said, it makes the partner more dependent on the one that is working. The partner doesn't gain anything from this. Even if they receive money, they have to use that money again for groceries or any equipment they have to use for cleaning or cooking or anything of the like, which means that even if they do get money, they actually don't benefit anything from it. And it just creates another toxic environment where one has to rely on the other instead of both relying on each other or not relying on each other at all and having respect for each other. Next, my speakers have said to maintain a long and healthy relationship, they should not pay each other. And also, because of this, if they actually do pay each other, then they won't actually have any respect for each other. You say that if they do pay each other, that they would respect each other more. However, I feel like this is wrong because if you're just paying out of respect, that's just not paying at all. That is just paying because you want to or because it benefits you in some way and not the other. When you are in love and when you are married, as I have said earlier, you would not actually have to have conditions to be married or loved or any of the sorts. Next, I would also like to go back on refuting your point. Just now, one of my speakers have clearly stated something about how people don't actually sometimes marry for love and sometimes they marry for material items. And you refuted that using a weird point. I would like to clap back and say that have you all forgotten about royal families where they marry into each other just for power and status and money? And they don't even do work and they don't respect each other because they keep paying each other. It's because let's say an actress marries into a royal family. She's only going there for the money because in the sense she probably doesn't even love the guy anyways because they're just paying each other for money and the guy is only, he might love her, but the woman might actually be a gold digger and she would not love the guy in return. Now, we, the opposition, truly believe that the government has misunderstood this motion and that they are saying that we misunderstood it when in fact they have not actually looked into the intricacies of this motion. We firmly believe they should not pay your partner or your wives or husbands into doing when they're doing chores. That is all. Thank you.
We have heard the arguments from both teams. And now the debaters are given 3 minutes to prepare their reply speech. Now, to wrap up our debate today, here is the reply speech from the opposition team, which will be delivered by Mr. Lai Zhengyi.
Without trust, there is nothing. Good morning and good afternoon. Before I end this debate, I would like to make my reply speech. First of all, let's address the big problems since you, the government, are beating around the bush. You keep on explaining the fact that you can pay with love. However, as we have mentioned countless times, if you pay with feelings, the feelings will become a burden. And it's actually worse. And to add on to what we have said earlier, if you pay with money, it's a waste of money. Now, I will talk about your points and summarize your points and explain once again for the last time why your points are wrong. You said that if husbands and wives pay each other, they will build trust and create a positive environment. However, it actually don't create a positive environment. As I said earlier, it creates a toxic environment. Now, to summarize our points, we said that if husbands and wives don't pay each other, they can maintain equality, they can prevent money from being an issue, and they can maintain a long and healthy relationship. Now, I am going to say why our points counters your points totally and destroys all of your points. When money isn't an issue, there won't be any trust issues. I've said countless times earlier, if they argue about things about money, then trust will become an issue. Also, to maintain a long and healthy relationship, they need love, trust, and respect. I said earlier, if money is an issue, they will lose trust. You keep on talking about you can pay with love, right? However, if love is the only thing to the relationship, that relationship won't be a long one. So, before I end my debate, I would like to state that our side firmly believes that partners shouldn't pay their husbands or wives for household chores. The idea of doing so should be banned because it's a really ridiculous idea. So, love is a dangerous thing. Love, trust, and respect is the key and heart to keep a relationship going and going strong. If you are foolish enough to pay each other to do house chores, a relationship will be no more. And before I finalize my debate, this house would require partners to pay their husbands and wives for household chores. That idea is completely foolish. Thank you very much.
And last but not the least, here is the reply speech from the government team, which will be given by Ms. Nurkamilia Kristina binti Jamal Abdul Nasir. Please welcome.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. A very good evening to the opposition team, members of the House. We will again, here I am again before you to deliver my reply speech. In my reply speech, I shall rebut on the opposition arguments and provide a summary of arguments on why we feel that this House should require partners to pay their husband and wives for household chores. I would like to rebut on what the third speaker mentioned. You mentioned about royalties marry each other because of money and fame. I would like to ask you why you're talking about royalty out of sudden. Our motion today is about husband and wives. So I hope you understand our motion. But still, we will answer you. Do you know that in order to marry someone from a royal family, your background will be checked. You won't get easy to marry them easily. So I hope that answer your question or your curiosity? Our first argument stated that you don't pay them just because of money. You can pay them with the love. I will again to point out again, or like again to highlight that you cannot you can just pay them with the attention, care, love, tolerance, and support to each other. Then I don't just focus on money. I hope the opposition not focus on money, because you keep misleading our points. As our second argument mentioned that you can build tolerance. This will again like point out, not because of money, it will build a tolerance about each other. You don't have to bring a family trouble or something in order to show that you love them or to pay them money. I hope you understand my points here. We will again to reaffirm our case that the opposition team failed to convince us that why we should not pay our partners, husband and wife, for doing household chores. So we will again reaffirm our case that this how should require partners to pay their husband and wives for household chores. With that, thank you.
Well, that's all for our debate today. We would like to thank the honorable adjudicators and debaters for your presence today. The results for the debate competition will be announced shortly. Please do not leave the room yet. Now the result is ready. The winning team goes to opposition. Congratulations. The best debater of this session is Soraya Catherine Ringvold. All right, well done everyone. With that, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. You all did really well.
You
Thank
very much.
I had so much fun.
Good
You
job.
all are really good sport. Thank you.
So tired.
I wanna cry.
You all did so